Hi, I'm Hannah.
And I'm Kaden.
And we are part of the Resilience Revolution. So recently we held a youth engagement conference in Blackpool,
where a lot of our resilience committees were all together under one roof.
So we had the privilege of being keynote speakers on the day. We are going to look at Kaden's speech in a minute, but first, Kaden, how did it make you feel on the day?
It felt like something to be proud of, especially since I haven't done anything like it before, so I was really nervous to go up. So after I'd done it, and especially since I was so nervous, when I got the applause it felt really amazing, so I'm really proud of myself, so yeah.
A boy who would be scared to speak to one person, a year later speaking in front of a crowd telling his story. Impossible, right? Well, see, my name's Kaden, and I have been part of Youth Voice for over a year now. I am involved in many groups within HeadStart and have even gone on to chair my own group. And this is my story. See, a year and a half ago, or about that, I was secretly suffering from anxiety, and I would be scared to get up in the morning from my head spinning to, what if this happens, or what if that happens? This has affected my daily life majorly, and I would no way have imagined this. You see, then my teachers decided to add me into a resilience committee for my school, Southshore Academy. I had no idea really even what resilience nor committee meant, and therefore didn't really care about it at first. I thought it would just be over and done with within a week, so when I went for the first time, I didn't plan on speaking to anyone, and just sitting there in the background as per usual. But after 2 or 3 weeks of being in this group, I began to enjoy listening to the ideas, and fully got involved. Sharing ideas of how to improve the school for the better, I loved it. The experience was already pushing my boundaries. It felt so weird to go against what my mind was saying, but made me feel good. You see, when one of the youth engagement workers called Sam asked me to join one of the groups, I was wanting to go. However, my brain was holding me back. I was filled with fear and thoughts like, what if they don't like me, or what if they think my ideas are stupid? While this isn't an autobiography, so I'm not going to tell you my whole life story, I have to tell you that within the first session, the people at the Revolution Researchers, which is the research group within HeadStart and the first youth voice group out of school I joined, made me feel the most welcome I've ever felt in a place, to the point where I was excited to go. I loved having a role in improvement and even research, which to be honest I thought was a boring thing at first, but now I realise it's actually quite fun. After just a couple of sessions, I had built up the courage to do something massive. Tell my family I was suffering with anxiety. I have therapy still to this day, but the courage I had gathered to take that step was massive for me. I'm not saying Youth Voice was the exact reason I told my family, but I am saying it was a helping factor. Now, I continued on my Youth Voice journey for a while. I went to sessions with the Revolution Researchers, but the resilience committee within my school faded, and it was pretty much gone, which was disappointing, as I felt for a while we actually were bringing change, but hey, it weren't meant to be. Because of my anxiety, I didn't really go to many clubs or activities out of school, except one. Let's call it Bob's Club. That at first was fun and exciting, but slowly dragged to become a chore. Not because of the activity itself, but the community of Bob's Club. There was bullying, not to me, but to my mates, that went out, and this caused me to feel unsettled, uncomfortable and unsafe. And when compared to the society of HeadStart, there was no competition. So therefore, I made the decision to leave Bob's Club, but carry on with HeadStart. Now, skip a couple of months later, Learning Week came. I had to give a presentation with the Revolution Researchers, and I was worried. This was the first thing I'd ever really done like this, and the idea of speaking in front of quite a few people was insanely scary to me, even if I was speaking only about 3 lines. But after I'd done it, I felt incredibly proud of myself, and honestly couldn't believe I'd done it. But I did, and that was the beginning of what I'd say it was a massive change. After that, I had the courage to go on a HeadStart residential, which was basically a 3-day trip where we discussed the next year of HeadStart, as well as jumping from trees in a harness and paddleboarding in a lake, while also staying over 2 nights in rooms with bunk beds. And despite only being 3 days, 2 nights, it helped improve my confidence massively. From worrying about jumping off a tree to presenting the voting system to which campaigns we would decide on, I experienced a lot of challenges, but with the support of others of the residential, I managed to overcome them, which gave me courage. After the residential, I was invited to join the Young Persons Executive Group. And I was excited yet worried. I think you've seen a trend. You see, I'd imagined going to YPEG for a while, as I heard many people within the Revolution researchers talking about it, so I was extremely excited, but obviously still nervous. But after the residential, I knew plenty of people. Since then, I have been a part of YPEG and have gained many skills, from learning how to interview people for jobs, or how to act in an interview, to learning how to give a presentation or speak in front of others. Also, I have had many opportunities, such as going to safeguarding boards to improve young people's safety within Blackpool, or going and helping others present. So due to all these experiences, I have been able to try new things and not worry as much in new situations, which is one of the reasons I think moving schools didn't scare me much. Yet, I had the courage to move schools. Don't get me wrong, I was anxious, but I was more so excited. I was going to go to the school I originally wanted to go to. So I left South Shore and joined St George's. And while I loved South Shore, I know it was the right decision. Other things it has given me the courage to do was begin my Duke of Edinburgh with an open access group with not one person I knew. My anxiety stopped me going on the first training day, yet the second one I was excited to go and did. Along with that, recently I have gone on an outward bound trip with my Duke of Edinburgh group, which is basically 5 days where we went walking up waterfalls, went crawling in underground tunnels, went swimming in freezing lakes, went raft building and much more, while also going on a painful expedition, which is a 2-day hike. While I hated the whole experience, I loved it and I totally would go again, as it pushed me to my limits. I never imagined myself doing something like that, and if it hadn't been for HeadStart, I probably never would have had the courage to even go there in the first place. Thanks to HeadStart, I have done things I never thought I'd do. I have achieved things which used to seem impossible. I have found a sense of belonging I never thought possible. It's like a family that both works hard and has fun. It's a community of improvement, self-improvement, group improvement and town improvement. You see, Youth Voices changed my life. Now it's time for it to change yours.
That was my speech that opened the day. And now it's time for Hannah's speech, which closed the day. So Hannah, how did you feel about that?
I felt honoured for the opportunity to be able to inspire other young people, and I think it's the first conference I've ever been to where young people were able to speak.
So, let's take a look.
Good afternoon, my name is Hannah Eaglestone. I'm involved in many things within HeadStart. I'm the lead student for Montgomery's Resilience Committee. I attend both the wages and anti-bullying campaigns, and I also partake in a lot of other exciting opportunities to represent HeadStart. Today I'm going to talk about why pupil voice is important to me. My personal definition for pupil voice will be giving students the opportunity to have a say in future decisions that will be made within their school. I think pupil voice is extremely important, as any decision that is made affects us, the students. Before working with HeadStart, I didn't believe that my opinion mattered, because even if I did have something to say regarding future decision, I thought that this wouldn't be taken into account. However, this belief couldn't have been further from the truth, as over time I learned that our voices deserve to be heard. In my time at Montgomery Academy, I have grown so much as a person, and I have learnt the true importance of pupil voice. In my first 2 years at high school, I had an extremely hard time settling into the new surroundings. Roughly 6 months into year 7, I was diagnosed with an illness called juvenile idiopathic arthritis. For those of you who may not know, arthritis is an autoimmune disease which causes the tissue surrounding the joints in our body to swell. Unfortunately, there is currently no cure for this illness. This diagnosis massively knocked my confidence, as I didn't want the other students in my year group to know, as I thought they would see and treat me differently. At first, I struggled to come to terms with the diagnosis of arthritis at just 11 years old, as I didn't think any illness like this could affect young people, and at that age I didn't understand what was happening myself, so I believed that no one else would understand either. However, over time I grew to understand my illness, and I realised that arthritis is now a part of me. It has changed my life, as since the diagnosis I have seen the world in a different light. I am able to put myself in other people's shoes and see life from their perspective. I'll be completely honest, Every day is certainly a new battle, and some days I do struggle more than others, but this illness is just one of many things that makes me unique, and in fact, I am proud of it. Facing these daily difficulties has encouraged me to become the best version of myself. Slowly I gained confidence to tell people about my illness, and I came to the realisation that nothing changed. I was still Hannah, and no one treated me any different. This made me take a step back and see everything from a different view, which is when I began to realise that within my school there was no fundraising events held to raise money for charities throughout the year. And this is where I began to understand the importance of pupil voice. I made the choice in Year 9 to take it upon myself to write a letter to the head teacher and deputy head of Montgomery to explain my thoughts how little charity work was taking place within school. This letter opened a door of opportunity as I was granted the chance to hold my own fundraising event for Comic Relief 2017. I spent months planning everything to ensure it was perfect. The event was a huge success, and since then I've held a further 6 events for various charities over the last 2 years. In fact, my next event is taking place as of Monday for Comic Relief 2019. From this experience, I learned that if you have an opinion, no matter how big or small, it does matter. If you have the courage to voice your thoughts, something good will happen, similar to my experience. Making this decision taught me many things. One of the main lessons I learned from my experience was that the stereotype that metaphorically has a hold over pupil voice is completely wrong. You do not need to be a top-grade student or be popular or within a position of power, for example a prefect or student council member, to be heard. Decisions that I made affect all students, not just a handful. Therefore, if you have something to say, say it. If you make the decision to stand up for what you believe, you have the potential to inspire others to climb on board and also have their say. One person speaking their mind has a domino effect on other students who are unsure whether or not to voice their thoughts. So why not be that one person who steps up and encourages others? After all, each and every opinion plays a key part in the future of your school. Making the choice to speak my mind has created so many amazing opportunities for me. Personally, I believe pupil voice has played a key part towards my future and has actually helped me attain many achievements. I am currently Montgomery's head girl, and the opportunity to have my opinion taken into account has resulted in me winning Blackpool Student of the Year 2018, which is a huge achievement. And every single person in this room today is more than capable of achieving great things. If you are to take anything away from my presentation today, please let it be to understand your opinion matters, your voice deserves to be heard, and why not be that person to take the first step towards an incredible future. Thank you. So that's all from us today, and all that's left to say is a massive thank you to everyone at HeadStart.
And everyone that came on the day. So if you enjoyed what you saw and you'd like to get more involved, contact any form of HeadStart. So bye.
Bye.